Hey there, superstar. Welcome to my video about the 6-step secret formula to write amazing copy to market your coaching services. Let's go. I have figured out a formula for writing copy, really for creating any sort of content that I use for everything. And in this video, I'm gonna share it with you. Let me tell you something. This is a game changer, and I don't say that lightly. Every single time I sit down in front of a blank sheet of paper, I write this outline down, and this is where I begin. Whether I'm writing sales copy, marketing copy, content for my videos, I use the same process for everything because, in my opinion, it's the easiest way to always make sure you hit all the major points that compel somebody to lean in and pay attention to you. Now, before I get into the actual structure and process here on my beautiful flip chart, I do want to share why this is so important. I am such a big believer in coaching. I am a transformational coach myself, and I work with other transformational coaches like you. And I have seen the power of coaching. Obviously, there are some not so great coaches out there, but by and large, it's been my experience that most people who get into this work, it's because they love it and they want to make a difference and they want to help people. But all the coaching in the world and all the amazing certifications that you have and skills that you bring to the table are absolutely useless if no one knows about you, if nobody can find you. And one of the best ways to help people find you and bring them to you is to have amazing copy. Whether you're using that copy on your website or you're writing social media posts or you're creating YouTube videos like I am, having this skill in your back pocket forever is going to serve you and going to serve the clients that you're here to serve because it will help them find you and want to say yes to you. One last thing that I want to mention about where this came from, a little bit about my background that you may not know. So you may know that I'm a coach and I've been doing this business for 15 years, most successfully in the last 8 years since I shifted my business model, which I'm not gonna get into now. But if you're interested in learning about that, go check out some of my playlists about how to have a successful group coaching business model. But before all of this, I was in a different world altogether. I was in the world of magazine publishing. And in particular, I spent several years on the editorial team of a magazine. Not just any magazine. I'm talking about your typical lifestyle publication, complete with celebrities on the cover and pithy cover blurbs that I used to write. I used to write a lot of the copy in the magazine, particularly headings and subtitles and all the juicy things that you may or may not realize are what keep people engaged in magazine articles and, get them to pick up the magazine off of the shelf in the store. And so that background, together with my background in marketing and business, kind of formed the foundation for this structure that I'm going to share with you. All right. Now, before I get into the structure, I do want to invite you to take a moment and subscribe to my channel. I post tons of videos, all juicy, packed with content. I'd love for you to subscribe, maybe like this video, and shoot me a message below. Tell me how this is landing for you, if this is helping you. All right, here we go. So this structure starts with a hook. Now, I can't take credit for coming up with this piece myself. The hook is something that I learned from the guy that produces this YouTube channel, Nate Woodbury, Be the Hero Studios. The hook is basically something that makes people lean in. It makes them, I like to say it's an eyebrow raiser. It raises the eyebrows. It makes them say, tell me more. So for example, at the beginning of this video, I did a hook and it was the title. Hey, superstar, welcome to my video, how to write great copy, blah, 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 right? So it's just a short and sweet thing that gets people engaged. The hook might be a question. It might be a statistic. It might be a story. But essentially, it's something that immediately captures attention and has people lean in. One of my favorite hooks is the word imagine. Imagine if. For example, one of my keynotes starts with, imagine if work could feel like play every single day. Another great way to open a hook is with a statistic, especially if it's a surprising statistic, or even sometimes if you're trying to get people to take action, a scary statistic. Did you know that, 90% of communication is nonverbal. By the way, I know that that is not a true statement, so nobody get on top of me for that one. I'm just saying that that's an example of what it could look like to open with a statistic. All right, so your first thing is your hook. The rest is going to be really easy to remember because it rhymes. The next step is the why, and the why is what sets up why the person should keep reading, should keep listening, or keep watching. For example, in this video, I set up that I was going to teach you this methodology that was going to help you generate more business. That's the why. Another thing that I did was I shared the problem, which is, hey, you've got all these services that you want to offer to people, but it's not useful if nobody can find you. What I do in the why is I set up the problem. And I like to discuss two types of whys, is the little why and the big why. The problem is, what problem is listening to this, reading this, watching this whole thing going to solve for somebody? And we want to position this in terms of a little why that gets solved, but also maybe, not always, a big why. So for example, the little why was when I told you that this video was going to help you to generate more business. It's a little why because it's a why that's just for you. But the big why is that I believe in coaching as an industry and that I want to elevate the entire coaching industry. That's a big why, right? So you don't have to have a little why and a big why. You can just have one. But I find that for me anyways, and for my audience, the big why is very compelling. You and people like you generally care about humanity and care about the world and care about other people and want to do good things in the world. So this is a very compelling thing for me to include in my copy. You get to ask the question if it's compelling for you to include in your copy. All right, so I set up the problem, right? Hey, not helpful if you've got all these amazing services and nobody can find them. What's the solution is the what. The solution to the problem. Right? The solution is, in this case, I'm going to give you this structure. I'm going to walk you through a structure that's going to solve the problem of how you attract people through your copy, right? So what's the solution you offer on a bigger picture level? Notice that when I set out the solution in the beginning, I didn't walk you through all the steps when I first introduced it. I waited to tell you the steps. Oh, I'm going to get to that in a moment, till later. So the next thing I did was, and the next thing you can do, is add you. The who is you. And this is your credibility and maybe your story. So remember how I told you about my background in the magazine industry? That was me having you hold on and wait for the juicy content I'm going to give you and first tell you why you should listen to me. Why am I a valid, valuable, credible resource to be telling you about this? Oh, well, my background in the magazine industry, right? So it's hook, why, what, who. Now we get to the how. And the how is the actual steps or the actual content that I'm delivering, right? So this process that I'm walking you through is the how that I'm teaching you. It's all very meta, isn't it? All right, so the how is the actual steps and the process. This is where it's like my 5 secrets, my 6 pillars, my 4 foundational principles, whatever the it is that actually generates the solution, this is where you place it. And then the last thing is the now. And the now is the call to action. The call to action is what you want people to do, right? Is it click here? Is it sign up? Is it give me your email? Is it sign up for a strategy session? Is it let's schedule a discovery call? But it's one and only one call to action. What I found is that if you try to introduce 2 or 3 calls to action at this point, people will generally take none or fewer calls to action if you just had one. So you want to get really clear, even before you start, what is that call to action that we're driving this copy to, right? Now, this can be used for copy. Like I said, it can be used for a lot of different things. So in this case, my call to action to you is going to be, if you want to learn more about how to build and grow your group coaching business, if you want to lead retreats, let's connect. You can find out more about my program at superstarbusinessbreakthrough.com. I look forward to meeting you.